Good morning, student. Today our topic is the Union Parliament. Union Parliament. So before we will discuss about the Union Parliament, we will discuss a little bit about the system that India followed for the governance. So first we will discuss about the federal setup in India. What do you mean by federalism or federation? Federal system means in which the government or the constitution divide its power between the central and the state governments. Again, I'm telling the federalism or federation or federal means when the constitution divide the powers between the legislative powers between the central and the state governments. And in India, the federal system, the states are not subordinate to the central governments, as well as the states are not the agents of the spirit. Now we will see some of the features of the unitary governments. Number one, strong center. We have a strong central government, strong central governments, and have a reasonable control over the state governments. Next is number two. We have a one constitution. Our different states do not have a different constitution. We have only one constitution that is for both central or union as well as for the states. Next is number three. Number three, the single citizenship. Our country or our government provide a single citizenship for the people, because our state do not provide any kinds of citizenship. The people of India, irrespective of their state or domicile, they are the citizen of India. So these are the important features of unitary system of government that all are present in India. So that is why we cannot say India a complete federal as well as a complete unitary. So it's a federal form but unitary in nature. Now next we will discuss about the Union Parliament. What? Union Parliament. So Union Parliament is also called the Union Legislature. First we will see the composition of the Union Parliament. Union Parliament is composed or constituted by the President and the two houses. If question comes, what is the composition of the Union Parliament? The Parliament is composed by the President and the two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Next is, what is Parliament? Parliament is a body of elected representatives of people and those who are supreme to govern a democratic country. Govern a democratic country. Next, we will discuss one by one. First is the Lok Sabha. The first, Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is called the lower house of the parliament. Lower house of the parliament. Lok Sabha is also called the house of people. House of people. Why? Because the Lok Sabha's members are directly elected by the people. Directly elected by the people. Lok Sabha is also a temporary house. Why? Because Lok Sabha can be dissolved before the completion of its full term. So that is why it's a temporary body. Next we will see the term. Lok Sabha's normal term is 5 years. But just now I said Lok Sabha can be dissolved before the completion of its term. Next is composition. Composition, Lok Sabha. Maximum strength, first point, Lok Sabha's maximum strength is 552. Second point, out of this 552, 530 members are elected from different states. Third point, 20 members are elected from different union territories. Fourth point, 2 members are nominated by the president from Anglo-Indian community. So this is the composition of Lok Sabha. Next we will discuss about the qualification. What are the qualifications required to be a member of or to become a member of Lok Sabha? Number 1, the person should be a citizen of India. Number 2, minimum age 25 years. Number 3, he should not be a proclaimed criminal. Number 4, he should not be a undischarged insolvent. Number 5, he should not be unsound in mind. Number 6, he should not hold any office of profit under center or state governments. So these are the qualifications required if anyone want to be a member of Lok Sabha. Next is the disqualifications. Disqualifications are just opposites of the qualifications. Opposites of the qualifications. Like number one, if he is a undischarged insolvent. Number 2, if he hold any office of profit under the center or the state governments. If he is unsound in mind. So these are the disqualifications. Next is a parliament. Next we will discuss about the Rajya Sabha. So it will be easier for you to compare between the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. Next is it is called the Council of States because all the states representatives sit in Rajya Sabha. Now question is who elect the Rajya Sabha's members? Rajya Sabha's members are elected by the state legislative assembly members. Next is Rajya Sabha is a permanent house because it cannot be dissolved. Next, the term. Just now I said Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. But Rajya Sabha's members' normal term is 6 years. How many years? 6 years. But after every 2 years, 1/3 of its members are retired and new members are appointed. Next, the compositions of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha's maximum strength. First point. Rajya Sabha's maximum strength is 250. 250. Next, second point. Out of these 250, 238 members are elected from different states and union territories. Next, number 3, third point. 12 members are nominated by president from different field like art, literature, science, sports, social service, etc. Those who have a profound impact in such category. So this is the composition of Rajya Sabha. Next is the qualifications. Qualifications are same like Lok Sabha, only one difference, that is Lok Sabha minimum age 25 years and in Rajya Sabha 30 years. Next is disqualifications also same like Lok Sabha. Next we will discuss about the parliamentary procedures. Parliamentary procedures. To regulate the business in the house, the parliament have or the houses have some functions within the house, and such procedures, such functions are actually called the parliamentary procedures. Now we will discuss one by one the parliamentary procedures. First, we will discuss the session. Normally, the houses meet twice in a year. Twice in a year. So there will be a maximum gap between the two sessions is 6 months. Maximum gap between the two sessions is 6 months. So how many sessions can take place in a year? Maximum 2 sessions. At least 2 sessions. But normally in parliament 3 sessions take place. Number 1, budget session. Number 2, monsoon session. Number 3, winter session. Number 3, winter session. Next, we will discuss the quorum. What is quorum? So quorum means the minimum number of members required to be present to enable the transact its business in the house. Again, I am telling the minimum number of members should present in the house to run the functions of the house or enable the functions or transact its function in the house. What is that minimum number? The 1/10 of the total membership of that house. 1/10 of the total membership of that house should present to run the business of the house. If quorum not take place, then that day house functions will be adjourned. Next is question hour. So what is question hour and when it start? In normal day, the house functions start with question hour and it start 11 o'clock until up to 12 o'clock. So what happened during this question hour? During this question hour, the members of the parliament, Lok Sabha's members, ask question from the government regarding the government functions. During question hour, the members of the Lok Sabha ask question from the governments. But before ask question from the government, the member first of all ask the question to the chair, that means head of the house, and if the house approved, the chair approved, then the member can ask question from the governments, and that is called interpellation. So question can come, what is interpellation? Interpellation is the rights of the member to ask question from the governments. It's called interpellation. So during this question hour, the member can ask three types of questions. Number one is the start questions. Number two, unstarted questions. Number three, short notice questions. So first is start questions. Which start questions are those to which the member wishes to have an oral answer on the floor of the house. On the floor of the house, and such questions are indicated by an asterisk mark, and supplementary question may be asked when the member asks for a oral answer. Next is number two. Number two is unstarted questions. What do you mean by unstarted questions? Which are unstarted questions to which the answers are given in written form. So no supplementary question can be asked when the member asks for a written answer. Next is short notice questions. Which is short notice questions related to matter of urgent importance. So with a short notice, less than 10 days. So these are the three types of questions the members of the parliament, especially the Lok Sabha, can ask from the governments. One is start question, unstarted questions, and short notice questions. And the short notice questions. Now next is 0 hour. So the 0 hours refers to the period which begin at 12 o'clock. Soon after the question hour and continue till the lunch break 1 o'clock. And during this 0 hour, the members raise all types of questions without any permissions of the chair and the presiding officer, that means the speaker, control the house. During this period, heated discussions as well as charges, counter charges, and the constant interruptions by the members take place. Next, Next is motion. What is motion? A motion is a formal proposal made by a member stating that the House should take up some some particular matter which is public importance. Which is public importance. That is called motion. Again, I am telling what is motion. Motion is a formal proposal made by the members stating that the House should take up the matters which is public importance. So there are two types of motions. One is adjournment motion, another one no confidence motion. So first is adjournment motion. And adjournment motions means a proposal to lay aside all other business and to take up a definite matter of urgent importance. Urgent importance. That is called adjournment motion. Again, I am telling adjournment motion. An adjournment motion means a proposal to lay aside all other business and take up an urgent important matters. Example like, suppose the situation now we are actually going on, that is pandemic coronavirus. The government have to take a immediate action, immediate decision on this issue. They cannot delay. And this is called urgent important matters. Next is number 2, the no confidence motion. Very simple. The word is indicating what is the main meaning. No confidence. That means lack of confidence. So a no confidence motion is proposal that expressing the lack of confidence in the ministry. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Parliament, especially they are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha for their action. If, as well, one more thing we have to remember, the minister enjoy their power, their position as long as they enjoy the majority support in the House. That means Lok Sabha. That means Lok Sabha. If the members of the Lok Sabha are not satisfied with the answer given by the minister, suppose a question asked by the members of the Lok Sabha and they are not satisfied with the answer given by the minister, then the members of the parliament can put a no confidence motion against that minister or ministries. And if that happened, if a no confidence motion passed against that ministry have to resign. Not only that ministry, the whole ministry has to resign because they are collectively responsible. So that is why if a no confidence motion passed against any minister, then whole ministry has to resign. Next we will discuss about the adjournments and the prorogation of the House. But the adjournments of the House mean the suspension of the House sittings, and the prorogation means the terminations of the session of the House. But the question is, the power of the adjournments of the House rests with the Speaker or the Chairman. Next is, who has a power to prorogue the House or prorogations of the House? President. President has the power to prorogations of the House. Now, question is, on which occasion or under what condition the Speaker can adjourn a House? Number one, after the business of the day is over. Number 2, if an existing member or ex-member of the House died. Number 3, if the quorum not take place. Number 4, when the Speaker felt necessary to adjourn House. In that occasion, the Speaker can adjourn the House. So student, this is a part 1. So big chapter this chapter is. So that is why next part I will upload. Keep watching the channel. Thank you.